Hi everybody, Tammy here. Welcome to my channel, and I have my Blythe boy Marco here to help us today. He is modeling this cute little Blythe scarf that I'm going to show you guys how to make. And let me just say, I'm going to show you how to make this particular scarf. However, you can use this technique I'm going to show you how to do to make scarves for other dolls. This is just how I typically make them for Blythe dolls, which are 1/6 scale dolls. And of course, he has a big honking head, so that can kind of change the perspective, I guess you could say, when you are making things for them sometimes. So he's wearing this cute little scarf. It's very easy to make. This scarf, to make it, you need to know how to chain stitch and double crochet. If you don't know how to do that already, I have tutorials for both of those, for chain stitch and also for double crochet, here on my channel. I have a playlist of doll crochet tutorials, and so head over and check those out before you attempt this. In addition to that, knowing how to do that, as far as supplies go, you're going to need some yarn. I just have some scraps here. Obviously, you don't need a lot of yarn. But this yarn that I'm using is probably, this is just stuff that I have. I'm trying to remember. I would say this is probably sport weight or a light worsted. And I'm going to use a size H crochet hook, which is 5 millimeters, all right? And I am using US terminology. There is a difference between US terminology and UK terminology when it comes to crochet, if you did not know that. And you can see basically it's a big long strip of double crochet. All right, maybe this red one's a little easier. So that is a stitch, that is a stitch, that is a stitch, and then I add a little fringe on the ends. This particular one, I added 4, and then I unwove them because yarn is made out of strands of fiber that are twisted together. So I untwisted these. This one, I did not untwist. So you can do whatever works for you. Along with your yarn and hook, obviously you need some scissors, and you're going to need a large needle with a large little hole in it, eye of the needle, so that you can weave in your ends. All right, so, and honestly, a ruler might be helpful too. So the rule of thumb for making a scarf for a person is that typically the scarf should be as long as the person is tall. So if you are making a scarf for somebody who is 5 feet tall, your scarf would be 5 foot long. And keeping in mind that you might want to add fringe on the end, so that will add to the length. This fringe here I made was 2 inches before I folded it. No, actually it's 5 inches folded in half, so 2.5 inches, right? And then you see how I have it wrapped around his little neck here. This, by the way, is Marco. He's a little fake guy that I customized just lightly. I changed out some eyeballs and matte faced him. But typically a lot of people will wear their scarves in the front and then wrapped around like this. So maybe like this. Or brought both ends around. Whoops, get out of the way. So it depends on how you want them to wear it. This one I made it so it's about right down here to his thigh. And that's the one I'm going to show you how to make. If you want to make it longer, you just make more stitches. Here's another one. This one is a little bit longer. And when I wrap it down, it comes almost, it comes about past his knees. All right. So if you wanted to alter this for this technique for a bigger doll or a smaller doll, just make more or fewer stitches. But for this one, we're going to start by attaching the yarn to the hook and doing 35 chain stitches. Again, I have a tutorial that shows you how to do this, but I am going to start up here, and then I will finish it off camera. Once I get my 35 stitches, chain stitches, I will be back to show you the next part. All right, I have my 35 chain stitches, and now I'm ready to work back down in the opposite direction and make some double crochets. your first double crochet, you're going to skip the first 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then make your first double crochet in the 4th chain. And that's because these 3 chains are going to turn into your first stitch on your scarf. So I'm skipping 1, 2, 3, yarn over, go through the next one, yarn over, pull through. So I'm going in the 4th chain. And then after that, so now I have technically two stitches on my scarf. And now I just keep doing double crochet all the way down. Again, I have a tutorial on how to do this, but I'll do a few here for you. But this is a really fun, easy way to use up scraps, practice your double crochet, and you know, it's actually a fairly quick project. Definitely, I feel like it's immediate gratification compared to many crochet projects, let's put it that way. So I'm going to finish doing double crochet stitches all the way down to the end right here, and I will be back. All right, I'm back. I have one more double crochet to do in the very last stitch. Oops, I went ahead and cut this off because you'll see in a minute why. But typically you would still have this obviously connected to your skein of yarn or your little bit of yarn. All right, and now I'm done with my last stitch, and you just pull it through. Boop. Now we've got 2 little tails here. I'm going to add fringe. You can see these other ones have fringe on them. I typically do, as you can see here, 3 pieces of fringe, or this is a piece, this is a piece, and this is a piece. So you end up with 6 strands because they're folded in half. If you wanted to add more, you could keep. Sometimes I've actually kept these little tails and made them part of the fringe, but I'm not going to do that today. Okay. Instead, I'm going to weave them in, and basically you just take your big-eyed needle to do that. So I always recommend weaving in versus knotting. You don't want to knot. Knots come apart. And then when you're weaving anything in, you just find a spot and pull it through. Okay, and okay. You don't need to make it super tight. Don't make it too tight. And let's see, I'll go back the other way too. Let's see, go this way. All right, and now take my scissors, trim that little bit off, and do the same with the other tail. Don't pull too tight, you just want to make it kind of get sucked up into your fabric, because basically that's what you're doing. When you're crocheting, you're actually weaving a type of fabric with your yarn. Right? Same thing, I'm going to trim that off. All right, put that puppy back over there. And now I have my scarf. I do not have any fringe on it yet. So I took some of the yarn. This is like, I did this off camera to kind of save us time here. I took some of the yarn and I measured 5 inches. I took a ruler. This is 5 inches long. And that way when I fold it in half, it's going to be about 2 inches, because you're going to lose a little bit here. I'll show you. We're going to anchor, do like an anchor knot to attach it to this. But I need 3 for one side, for one end, and 3 for the other end, for a total of 6 pieces, 5 inches long, 6 pieces of yarn. Get our little bits and bobs out of the way. And now, like I said, you're going to fold it in half. Get our crochet hook. Find a little spot here at the end. Put your crochet hook on there and pull it through. And then wrap the yarn around both pieces of yarn around your crochet hook. Pull it through again. Boop. All right. And we're going to do that on the ends and then in the middle. Same thing on this side. Okay. All right, we're done. Got the fringe on. Like I said, if you want, or when I kind of started doing it over here, you can start, if you want to make it look like this one, which is kind of cool looking, you can just start untwisting. You can see those lines there, see? So this is all twisted up. You can untwist it by just undoing it the other direction, or another way to do it is you could use your big needle and start untwisting it this way. So, I mean, it's kind of neat because it adds a little bit of texture to the finished scarf. But, you know, it's up to you if you want to do that or not. I'm just going to finish doing this one a little bit. It's up to you. Do it, don't do it. But we're going to go ahead and put it here on Marco. You can see how it looks on him. Cool beans, all right? So I hope you enjoyed this super easy, very beginner friendly double crochet Blythe scarf. Like I said, it is a technique that you could easily alter by just adding more stitches. You can make it longer for another doll. You could, you know, kind of jump into, you know, making it thicker if you wanted. So for example, if you wanted to do an 18-inch American Girl doll, this would be probably a little thin for her. So you could do 2 rows. Try something like that if you want. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Like I said, I have a playlist here with other stitches. If you haven't done double crochet before, or you haven't even learned how to do the chain stitch, you have to learn the chain stitch before you do anything else. Unfortunately, that's 99.9% of all projects in crochet. I mean, I can't even think of one that you don't. Has to have a chain stitch. Okay, you always start with a chain stitch. Alrighty, let me know in the comments down below what you think. As usual, give this a thumbs up. We hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Have a wonderful Dolly Day. Bye-bye.